sapphire earrings in the one end, long-stemmed rose and cash in the other. Got one last kiss on her forehead. Wonder what she's going to tell mother. Out the window to the alley, join the sidewalk crowd and disappear. Catch the last train to Marseille. Well, I'm sure people have their talk, say hi, snow folks in and walk, but it makes no difference what they say. We had 4 whole months of fun, and you don't cook it when you're done. And if I don't write, then I'm okay.
I'm Travis. I play guitar and sing keyboards.
I'm Eric. I play bass and keyboards.
I'm Joe. I play the drums. I'm Jason. I play guitar and keys. When the band broke up in 2003, we got tons and tons of email from folks who said that we had been important to them in a bunch of different ways, many of them really personal. And that still is one of the most important things to me about being in this band and creating this art.
You know, we'd stepped away for, 8 years, and then we played in 2011, got a lot of really heartfelt comments from people at those shows. People are like, it means so much to me. We played your music at my wedding, and I met my wife at your show, and all these things come to you, and you forget that the same way that you feel about other bands. Some people feel that way about you, and it's moving, it's also hard to digest sometimes.
We put out a vinyl re-release of Emergency and I a couple years ago, and the label that did it asked us to play some shows. Joel just processed it at the same time and said, okay, let's play some shows. We started jamming more during practices. We just started throwing out jamming, bits, cool loops, bits, which is what bands do, right? That was what was missing 10 years ago when we hung it up, that the rehearsals were just kind of like dry crackers.
The last train to Marseille. Well, I'm sure people have their talk, say I snow folks in and walk, but it makes no difference what they say. We had 4 whole months of fun, and you don't cook it when you're done. And if I don't write, then I'm okay. Some things just fall apart with time. Stop acting like I've committed some crime. And if I don't write, then I'm okay. I'm alright. I'm okay.
We kind of have the benefit of having been really weird back then. Really strange. You can kind of tell that we knew about emo and stuff like that, but it's a little bit like we were just in space, it's just peculiar. I can't really think of a group of bands that we could go play a casino with one of those package, the Gin Blossoms, Everclear, and I love songs by all those bands, but that's 90s radio. That's a mental space.
Remember, there's a point where we never missed band practice. If it was your girlfriend's birthday, your dog died, you went to band practice. So there's a little bit less of the day to day. It's priority shift, and I'm sure anyone who's played in a band and has gotten older can speak to that.
And every time we get together and practice or play a show, to me at least, it feels as good as it did back in the day. It's like the visceral getting out the evil thing that happens when you play loud music, and that continues every time.
Up, I never knew why Daddy was so depressed. He always paid his interest, but he never got out of
For me, at least in the first couple of years, there was an overwhelming ambition for very small goals. Like, I want to play Club Asylum so bad. I just want to play I played Club Asylum. I played Club Asylum. And then it becomes like, I want to play the Black Cats. And it's just tiny little goals. And I do remember in my mid to late 20s, those didn't get replaced by larger parallel goals. I just lost interest.
Well, I guess I get that too. When nothing no one says gets through, dancing to a distant beat. Well, I call him Daddy's happy feet, 'cause Daddy was a real good dancer. That's what everybody say. Oh, Daddy was a real good dancer. Until he had me, then he threw his dancing shoes away. When they finally lay my cold and creaky bones to rest, I hope I'm not a mystery to those who knew me best. But if all my eulogies are all corny fantasies, just put on my favorite crew, 'cause that's what we would always do for Daddy. Daddy was a real good
Being in a band, it's hopeless. I mean, it's a labor of love, but it's a little like running a restaurant. It will kill you. For most bands, it's even if the restaurant succeeds for 7 years, you stagger away. Like, you need to go lie under a blanket, in a dark room for 2 years. It just takes everything out of you. It bankrupts you on every level, which is great. I mean, that's what it should be, right? It's an adventure. You don't get into it for like a middle-class paycheck. You get into it for the adventure.
That was quite tasty.